Great Minds in STEM is very proud of our K-12 programs, which started back in 1989 in partnership with NASA Johnson Space Center at the very first annual conference.
In 2001, GMIS launched the Viva Technology Program, and we have continued to bring our hands-on, competitive, award-winning STEM programming to multiple states across the country year-round. To date, GMIS has served over 150,000 students, educators, and families through our K-12 programs.
The videos and photos you saw are just a quick overview of all the students we support in partnership with numerous sponsors. Here at the 29th Annual HENAAC Conference, we hosted Viva Technology Middle School and high school programs with over 400 students from the local community.
The middle school program was sponsored by the Shell Oil Company and Dow Chemical, and the U.S. Air Force sponsored our high school program. So we'd like to thank Shell, Dow, and the Air Force for all of our Viva Technology sponsors for helping to light that spark in our students to pursue future STEM opportunities.
Our K-12 programs Our K-12 programs don't just inspire students, they empower educators. We are joined at the conference by educators from the local school districts, and we would like to acknowledge the Northrop Grumman Foundation for sponsoring our Educators Workshop as well. Now it's my distinct honor to introduce our keynote speaker. He's currently the CTO and STEM evangelist at the Emerson Collective in Silicon Valley. Before that, he led the National Renewable Energy Laboratory for many years. He's a past HENAAC award winner, a former board member, and member of the HENAAC Hall of Fame. He's one of my personal favorites. Please welcome Dr. Dan Arvizu.
Thank you, Doreen, for that very kind introduction. Good afternoon, you all. It's wonderful to be here to celebrate the achievements and accomplishments of leaders in our community. The excitement and the energy in this room are infectious. I really resonate with the theme of the 29th HENAAC Great Minds in the STEM Conference, Destiny Driven by Determination. I'm one who believes we all have a purpose in life, and it can be shaped by our environment, by our experiences, and the people around us. To illustrate, I thought I'd start by describing the journey of a young boy who grew up in a small town in New Mexico. He was born to parents who came from Mexico to seek a brighter future in the United States. He learned to speak English in the first grade at George R. Bean Elementary School in Odessa, Texas. After benefiting from a quality K-12 education due to the proximity of Holloman Air Force Base, adjacent to Alamogordo where he grew up, he was the first in all of his extended family to graduate from college. At a young age, he was captivated by a desire for learning. And that's when he first imagined what a grand adventure his life could be. Education for him was always an exciting road to travel, with new revelations around every corner. He never stopped learning because he could never stop asking questions. Where this journey would ultimately take him was unimaginable to him as a child. But even today, the adventure is still very much alive. And I can honestly say, he has lived the American dream. A dream that today, admittedly, is harder to achieve for many in our country, but one that can still be attained with vision, education, and determination, and a little help along the way. Well, of course, that young man I'm talking about is me. And my journey might never have turned out the way it has were it not for an excellent sixth grade teacher, Mr. Price, who opened up my imagination to science, and an excellent eighth grade math teacher, Mr. Avery, who gave me encouragement and confidence that I could excel at math. And several college professors, Dr. Bob San Martin, Dr. Marshall Slider, who gave me wonderful counsel and opened up my imagination to what the future as an engineer and scientist could hold. After receiving my bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering from New Mexico State, which I might add I attended on a music scholarship, I joined Bell Laboratories for my first job out of school, but I knew my career path that I was on would require more education. I graduated from Stanford with my master's and eventually joined the newly formed solar energy research team at the Department of Energy's Sandia National Laboratory. Well, I was on top of the world. To be working at a national lab on such important technology as solar, wow. But the funny thing was, my view of the world had changed once I arrived there. To get to where I now wanted to go, I needed still more education. I returned to Stanford to earn my PhD. It was there on that picturesque Palo Alto campus where I came to fully appreciate that in life, determination, striving for excellence, and real discipline are required to achieve success. I learned that when things get difficult, throwing in the towel is not an option. I discovered that those are the times you'll learn about yourself and then encourage you to take your aspirations to a new level. Determination and persistence help you build self-confidence. And that sense of confidence can propel you to places that you never knew or even imagined you could go. And for me, one of the accomplishments I could never have imagined was to have the opportunity to lead a great research institute like the National Renewable Energy Laboratory and become the first Hispanic director of a national lab in the agency's over 60-year history. NREL's mission, thank you. NREL's mission to create a sustainable energy future became one of my life's passions. We as a nation and as global citizens face unprecedented economic, environmental, and climate challenges from the way we produce and we consume energy resources. Today we're fortunate that science can help us confront those challenges. We know now that new technologies can provide us with abundant, safe, clean, and affordable sustainable energy that we need. And we're beginning to understand how we can surmount these energy challenges in ways that provide real benefits to our nation and the world. Well, I'm now in a time of my life when I'm working at the nexus of things that are most important to me. Science, energy, and education have always held the most passion for me, and I'm fortunate to be deeply engaged in each of those today. And I can tell you that that's a satisfying place to be. But there are times when I still marvel at the journey. I recently felt myself remembering humbly of earlier days and recalled a trip of all places to the Antarctic and to the South Pole. You see, several years ago, I was honored to receive a presidential appointment to serve on the National Science Board, the governing body that oversees the $7.5 billion science research programs of the National Science Foundation. After a second presidential appointment 6 years later, I was further honored to be elected by my peers to serve as the chairman of the National Science Board and become the first Hispanic board chair in the Foundation's 65-year history. Thank you. And as chairman, I had the opportunity to represent the agency to Congress and to see firsthand the incredible array of scientific endeavors our nation supports. And I've gotten to meet many of the nation's unbelievably talented and dedicated researchers. And as board chair, I got to do some really cool things, pardon the pun. And so as I left for the Antarctic to visit the world's most intricate and complex neutrino observatory, I was struck by the realization it's a long way from Alamogordo to the South Pole. The laboratory at the bottom of the world that I was headed to is called Ice Cube. I even have a t-shirt, and on the front it says Ice Cube. My kids thought that was really cool until they saw the back that says Neutrino Observatory, and it wasn't the same rap artist that they were thinking about, Ice Cube. This is one-of-a-kind laboratory at the South Pole that is searching for the tiniest of matter, infinitesimally small neutrinos, high-energy physics particles that are produced with some of the most violent episodes in the history of the universe. Incredible events like the coalescing of black holes and exploding stars that emit bursts of gamma rays. Ice Cube is giving us new understandings about the highest energy particles found anywhere in nature. This certainly could be the stuff of science fiction, but today it's a science reality. And I had to marvel, first at the incredible strides that we've made in the name of science, and second, that me, a kid from Alamogordo, was a part of it. And then I would be very remiss if I didn't mention one of the other really cool projects that I had the honor to participate in, the Laser Interferometer Gravitational Wave Observatory, or LIGO for short. While on the board, we debated and discussed how and if we would make an investment in this very risky, uncertain instrument to push the frontiers of science. We ultimately did fully fund the more than $1.5 billion LIGO project. And last year's HENAAC Scientist of the Year, Dr. Gabriela Gonzalez, was the project leader for NSF's commissioned LIGO facilities in Livingston, Louisiana, and Hanford, Washington. We honored her for her pioneering work to lead the LIGO facility development that ultimately were the detectors that were first to directly measure the space-time warp of gravitational waves created by cataclysmic events millions of light years away. These measurements were essential to be able to confirm Einstein's theory of relativity. What was astonishing to me was the nature of the engineering complexity required to make the accurate measurements to detect the length scale change of 10 to the minus 19 meters. Now, to put that in layman's language, that's 1/1000th of the width of a proton, the most precise measurements ever made by mankind. Then this past month, the principal scientists that had pioneered the pursuit of the measurement of gravitational waves for more than 3 decades were awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics. Yeah, thank you. And all I could think of was, wow, a young boy from Alamogordo was a part of helping push the frontiers of knowledge in ways that boggle the mind. Perhaps the most important lesson of my journey is this: it's all possible. Any one of us can succeed through the dedication to education, sheer determination, and passion. Master these principles, and you can achieve the highest levels in whatever career you choose. It won't come as a surprise that I'm always encouraging students to explore the tremendous opportunities that lie ahead for future careers in science and engineering. Our own communities and our nation itself very much need science and engineering that is ethnically and culturally diverse. And as my own experience demonstrates, we must begin working toward that goal by supporting the strong foundation that STEM education provides. We must work to ensure that science, technology, engineering, and math, the STEM disciplines, are reinforced at the highest possible levels, and that the opportunity to benefit from a sound STEM curriculum is available to all elementary, middle school, and high school students, regardless of their location or their background. That's a goal that unfortunately remains unfulfilled in many places, but it's one that I will continue to advocate for and continue to work to make happen. I'm very proud that my Hispanic heritage has played a wonderful and ongoing role in my life. Strong family values, a strong abiding work ethic are things I was raised to believe in, and these have bolstered me throughout my journey, from my first years in school to where I stand before you today. My father may have only gotten through 3rd grade, but he was smart, and he understood the true value of education. The lesson I will leave with you today is that your destiny can be driven by your vision, your passion, and your determination. And for those of us nearing the end of our journey, recognizing how powerful our experiences and insights can be to those that are just starting out is really important. Our entire STEM ecosystem is strengthened by our insights, our participation, and our contributions. So, congratulations to the award winners that we recognize and honor today. I wish you continued success in your own fantastic journey. Go make your dreams come true, make your destiny happen, and be determined to create the future to which we all aspire. Thank you very much.